Hey, how you doing? Welcome to another time here at the book club. Thanks for coming. Thanks for making it. We got to do this 2 p.m. every Sunday, except when I'm not able to make it, and I've not made it the last 2 weeks. So apologies for that. But thank God we can do today's on. So welcome as we catch these Sunday of Christmas week. I'm so glad, I'm so happy I'm able to do this today. We've been reading our night book in the series here. It's the confidence game. And we're presently in chapter 3. The last time we met some 3 weeks ago, we looked at chapter 2. We talked about the Putin, a getting the victim into the game. And today we're going to look at the game itself, how the game itself is set up. And we'll talk a bit, continue talking about how the human mind works, because the confidence game is all about playing on the human mind. And fortunately, unfortunately, that's our control center. Anyone that can win over our mind can have control over us. That's how cults work. That's how swindlers work, 419. That's how the devil works. The devil is their father. So they take after the devil and they use it for all the different things that they do, which are all con games. Basically, a cult is a con game. You need level of confidence to get people into a cult. If you that's what they call a secret cult. They don't tell you what is really inside. They sweet talk you into entering, then hook you, hold you captive inside it. So but it's all the same thing, just the same way devil hooked Eve. It's the same way his children hook people today. Whether it be hook you to hold have ownership over your life, control over your life, brainwash you, or take your money, take your treasure, or even a boy, um, a boy spinning a girl, so there is the very bad side to it. There is the bad side, there is the good side. That's why I say that we can use it for good purpose, because some of this is also what a marketer or seller uses. That they could either use it to sell you goods that are not worthy, that are not of good worth, which is pretty much swindling, or they could use it to get into your hands goods that you'll get benefit for, you get value for the money you're paying, but you don't know about it. So they use it to introduce the good to you so you can buy it, but you get your value, you get the worth of the money you're paid for it right after you get it. So there's a spectrum. You can use some of these techniques for. It can be used for good, evil, it can be used for bad. We're learning it here so that people don't swindle us, people don't use it for bad against us in such a way that we'll lose value. We're also learning it such that we can use it, in our everyday life to sell, everyday life to market, because in a marketplace is just what it is, a marketplace. You are marketing your skills, you're marketing your products, but the ethical part of it is that you're marketing something to exchange. To exchange value for value. You're exchanging the money of the buyer for something that is equivalent, that will produce value equivalent to what the person is paying, and even for a worker, you're exchanging your skill for the money someone's going to pay you. You're giving them value for the money they are paying. That's the ethical part. Though the normal con game is really the unethical part, where people gain your trust with the intent of abusing your trust. you know so again, we're learning it from different angles. We're learning so that we don't become victims, we don't become the mark, to a swindler, to an hustler, to a 419 person, and we have them abundant, especially here now on Christmas. Some people probably do 419 without knowing they're doing 419, and everybody wants something for nothing. When you want something for nothing, you're a swindler. You're playing a con game, right? If you don't have value for what you're asking for, then you're a swindler. I find it kind of challenging to give people money today, because I have people that work for me, and my priority really is those people that work for me, right? And thank God we're going here to be our 50th year. We're going to be our 50th year about March. here next year, and I have never hold salary 1 month, one time, right? Everybody that's worked for me gets paid when due, right? And whether we make money or we don't make money, I pay. Right. And that's my priority, every month is to make sure that I pay the people that work for me, so I kind of get a challenge where the people that don't work for me, don't give me any value, are looking for money. And I'm asking myself, why? Why? I mean, there's a place to help people who I need, but there's not a place to help people just because they are asking, right? Uh, so there is that balance, right? And the marketplace, it doesn't recognize your wants, your needs. It's asking, what do you bring? What's your seed? You know, what's your seed, right? The marketplace will exchange, we exchange money for seed. We exchange money for skills. We exchange money for value. We exchange money for talent. Right? It's an exchange. It's an exchange. We don't waste money in the marketplace. We don't give you money for the sake of giving you money. We give you money because because you can fill that blank, right? Not just for the sake of giving you money, right? So that's what we're going to learn. We're going to go here into chapter 3 of the book. I'm going to bring up my slide here, and we'll do a structured time through it. Welcome. No, I'm not going to bring up my slide. I'm going to try. I'm trying not to do it with the slides. I think I kind of enjoy the videos where my face shows all through, and I'm not having to struggle looking at slides. I don't know what you prefer, but feel free to let me know whether you prefer seeing my face or you would love to see the slides. Uh, but when I rerun it, I kind of prefer the ones that I show up rather than the one that I have to show slides. But I'm here to please you. So if you feel you prefer the slides, fine, we'll do it. But I printed it here, and I'm gonna go about my print here. Maybe I should start by alternate it. Maybe that might be the middle ground to alternate between the slide and what I have printed. Uh, Apologies, I'm looking for the slide. All right, I do have it open. And z- all right, Zoom seems all right. I guess you all can see my slide now. Yes, yes. Yes. So, yeah. So I think you can see it now. It wasn't there before. Uh, and Zoom has changed. Zoom keeps on changing on me. Anyway, it's a confidence game. We're going through the book, and so it's chapter 3 we're on, and the title of chapter 3 is the play, in a play, which is really the game itself, is looking at the game in action, right? And the quote, that captures chapter 3 is be patient, be a patient listener, be a patient listener. In some sense, I'm a patient listener because I'm a counselor, right? So that's what hands me in my place of a counselor. Uh, I'm not always patient listener because probably in the workplace I'm not as much, or I didn't used to be as much. But with maturity today, I'm a better listener than I used to be. In the workplace, I used to read people's mind. I'm way above ahead of what the person is saying. In counseling, I can't afford to be because I don't know the person's mind. So I'm going to have to wait for the person to tell me what is going through, But maturity, has brought the two kind of closer together. That even in the workplace right now, I have to slow down because when I finish people's statement for them, I don't respect them. What I'm showing is a disrespect to finish someone's, well, not all the time, because sometimes some people don't even have the word to express what is in their mind, but that is okay. But if in other cases where it's not about the person's already explaining, not that the person has a shortfall and you just jump in and finish it. Sometimes it might be disrespectful, so probably important to take two steps backwards and respect people, give people the opportunity, especially people that, you're more experienced than them, so you probably know it more than them. When you're always finishing their statements for them, it might make them cower in and they feel inferior. You probably need to, it's part of mentoring people to allow them express themselves. And when there's a shortfall, like when they're struggling, you can help them. It helps them gain confidence, and be more assured in themselves. But if, as a leader, you're always finishing their statements for them, you're telling them they're not worth it, that they're not up to it, so there's a need to balance that and be sensitive to that. Uh, I didn't used to be because I still am passionate, but with maturity, I'm able to better control my passion, so that it doesn't become a good thing, doesn't become evil spoken of. I don't be with my passion, overshadow people. So I'm kind of conscious of that today as I do more mentoring and helping people, you know. But it pays to be a listener, because when you listen, someone says, I believe it's Peter Drucker, he says that the biggest part or the most important part of communication is not just to hear what the person is saying, but to hear what the person is not saying. The most important part of communication is not just to hear what the person is saying, but what the person is not saying. So if you're not a patient listener, if you're not a good listener, you might hear what the person is saying, but that's not the most important part of the communication. What the person is not saying is the real communication, right? Because the person is saying something to say something without saying that something. Right. So when you're patient in listening, you're able to then pick up those cues that point to what the person really wants to say. You know, Hey, and Sam, welcome. So that's important, So when you're helping people, you're mentoring, you're raising the younger ones, you truly need to learn how to listen, because they're not going to tell you what you want to hear. They're probably going to test you. They're probably going to tell you go in a different direction from where they really ought to go, just to see who you are, to test you, to see whether you'll be able to accommodate, you'll be able to stand, you'll be matured enough to take the heaviness, the weight of what they want to tell you. And probably that just points me to an example I had with my kids. Uh, one of the times I was driving them. I used to, when I was out in Houston, I used to be the one to take them, drive them to school and all of that, some distance, about three hours driving, well, one way, 4 hours, depending on which direction I'm going. And I will play music. They know I'm a Christian, they know I'm a pastor, and they know I would rather prefer listen to Christian music, and really that's what they tune in for me, but that's not what they listen to when I'm not there. So at one time they tried me, and they put on the music, they would listen to when I'm not there. And I guess they were looking at my reaction, my response, and I was conscious of that. I knew what they were trying to do, and with being an experienced counselor or teacher, I had to show that I had to not show the surprise they were looking for on my face, even though I was surprised, because I used to think that all my children listen to is the kind of, well, I have three kids. My last one I know is a bit of a, she goes the other way. But my first two, I was thinking they'd just listen to what I listen to, Christian music. But uh, I was wrong. I was wrong. They were listening to other music, and they were testing me this time around, and I had to not react, but study, be a learner. That's one of the things. I posted one of my old videos, which comes from the book we read, the Amen effect, and the last chapter there in the Amen effect, chapter 8 says that we should not be the victim when circumstances, not should we seek to be the hero, but we should learn. Don't be too much in a hurry to save the day. Don't feel beaten. Don't be the victim. When they were playing that music, I could feel the victim. Oh, look at you people. You all that I trained you. Oh, that I did this. I could be the victim and I'll lose them. They would never play that music in my presence anymore. They'll probably do worse things and hide it from me. But I had to gain their confidence, enough that they can be real in my presence, right? They don't go do stupid things and come behave as who they are not in my presence. I had to be real enough to be able to accommodate their humanity. I had to be real enough to be able to accommodate their present struggle, their present age range, their present peer pressure, to understand them so that I can help them. You see, if I don't understand my children, I can't help them, right? But it takes me to understand them. Uh, it takes me to understand them to be able to help them, right? And to be able to understand them, uh, I have to show them that I can handle the heaviness of their truth, the heaviness of their truth. A lot of parents lose their children because they've shown their children that they can handle the reality of the life or of the world, the challenges that they face. So they keep the things away from you, not because they hate you, but because they feel you can handle it, and you have shown that you can handle it. Because when they show you a bit of what they're going through, the challenges, the decisions they make, and they're being challenged to make, you react rather than respond. Right? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't be an immature parent, right? You need to be a learner. You need to be a student. You need to soak it in. That's what we call mindfulness, the ability to soak the present in without judging it, soak it in to understand it, so that then you can know the right way to respond rather than react. But most of us, from our generation, all because that's what they taught us. That's what our parents did. That's what even the pastors, the present churches will go to. That's what they do. They're all trying to be holy, holy, holy. They're trying to play the hero's game or the victim's game. But that's not the best approach to life. The best approach to life is to be a student. Don't jump into conclusions. Don't jump to rescue. Understand it. Understand it. Understand it. So that you can have the right response to the situation. So going back to my kids, they played it, and I just did that. See, yeah, I wasn't shocked, you know but it gave them an opening to be able to be real to me, so that I can help them. Because if they're not real to me, I can't help them. I can't cancel them. I would think that they're this, and I'll be counseling along that line, whereas this is where they are, right? So, mindfulness and is the ability to soak without judging. And when you soak, you understand that you can respond adequately, right? Not react and spoil the day and spoil the possibilities of being welcomed into their world tomorrow, right? So if your children are running away from you, they're using those syllables in you, uh, those one-word response, it might be because you've reacted when they tested you. It's not too late. You can retrace your way. I'm not saying here, none of what I'm saying here is saying that you should encourage them going astray. Nope. I'm just saying that for you to be able to help them, you have to understand them, right? You don't be too much in a hurry to rescue something you don't understand. Right? Take the time to understand before you jump in, and don't even jump in. Take your time in, right? Every system hates a shock, right? So their world hates a shock. You just coming into their world to destabilize their world. They're gonna fight against you. They're gonna fight against you. They're not gonna let you in. right? You need to, every system, needs to be broken into, not shocked, right? They have a stability wall and just want to come into it. They're gonna resist you, right? Sometimes they're gonna resist you to your face. Sometimes they're gonna resist you behind you, right? You need to be more intelligent than that. If you're gonna save your children, if you're gonna help your children, you have to break in, right? Don't jump in, break in. Take it one step at a time. But great, great. So good, good. So we're gonna go into chapter three. The title of chapter three is says that is be a patient listener. Not just be a good listener, but be a patient listener. If you want to win the game of life, you have to be a listener to start with. You have to be a good listener, right? If you're not a good listener, you're losing. You're leaving money on the table. You're not winning. Whatever you think you're winning, you're losing. There's a lot you're leaving on the table by not listening, right? Again, I'll say Peter Drucker says that the most important part of communication is being able to listen to what is not being said, not what is said. That applies everywhere you find yourself, whether with your wife, with your children, with your house up, with your siblings, with your own parents, in your church, with your pastor, with your friends, with your business partners, in the boardroom. It applies everywhere you find yourself. If you don't want to keep leaving money on the table, if you don't want to keep missing opportunities, make it an assignment, a duty, a responsibility to seek to listen to what is not being said. Because like we say, probably 20% of communication is verbal, right? There's a whole lot that's been said that is not verbal, right? That you can pick from the lips of the person, you can pick from the gesticulation of the person, you can pick from the eyes of the person, you can pick you can pick for the environment, that the vibe in there, there's a whole lot to what's going on that than the words you're hearing, right? And sometimes it's not necessarily intentional deception. It's just the way the person is. Again, when we talk about the hierarchy of communication, what you see is higher than what you hear, right? So what you see is higher than what you hear. So the person might even be saying one thing, but what you're hearing is different because what you see overrides what you hear. Right. So it's important that you understand all of that. You understand that what you're seeing is not coloring what you're hearing in a way that you're missing what is meant to be said. Right. Because if the person might be gesticulating one way, but it's saying something different, right? You need to be able to then put the pieces together to get what you're supposed to take away from that meeting. And if you don't know, you can ask. That's what we call reflective listening, right? So being a good listener, it includes being a reflective listener, right? So we talk about being a good listener. We've talked about being a patient listener, being able to waiting to absorb everything and not being too much in a hurry to jump in to help, or too much in a hurry to feel like you're the victim. Like most women jump and think that they're victims. Anything they said, oh, it's because I'm this, because I'm that. Not necessarily. You're missing it. You're allowing the demons of your past to have the better of you, right? So don't be too much in a hurry to think you're the reason why the person is saying whatever the person is saying. Be patient, listen to the whole communication and decipher what is being passed on. And here we're talking about the need also to be a reflective listener, whereby if you don't understand, ask question. Is this what you're trying to say? You said this. Does it mean that? And the person can respond to you and give you a better angle to what is being said or not, rather you leaving with the wrong communication, thinking it's this, whereas it's that. So that's another part of being a good listener, is to reflect what is being said by asking questions, right? But you'll get a lot by being a good listener. You get you'll be surprised what you will get. You'll stop leaving money on the table because you do understand what needs to be addressed. But one person that uses this skill is a con man, right? Or an hustler. Yeah, how are you, Dari? Good afternoon. An hustler, someone that wants to 419 you, that wants to swindle you, is a good listener because he needs to know about you. The more he knows about you, the more he can play you, right? To play you, someone must know you. Someone that does not know you cannot play you, right? That's first of all the fundamental human knowledge that people use for you because that they're fundamental attributes to which a human being you can describe a human being. So, or 419, a swindler knows that. And that's the first approach that swindler is going to use, to approach you because he's going to prick, he's going to prick on your humanity, right? It's going to hit on your humanity and it's going to take your humanity and begin to walk with your humanity, knowing that as a basic human, this is the way you will respond or not respond. But when it starts from what is basic and is common to everybody, the swindler now uses what he's hearing from you to adjust that which is general to as it were carve out the specific and the peculiar to you, right? So it starts by not knowing you, but the mere fact that you're human, he knows that the basic things that a human being would respond to, or max out a human being, right? So and that's what a swindler is gonna use to start the game, right? But while doing that, it's going to then be listening to you to know, all right, even though this applies to everybody, these are the things that are peculiar to this person, right? So it uses this ability to listen, to understand you and play the game in a way that will hook you, right? In a way that is specific to you. And this also gets done by fortune tellers, crystal ball readers, palm readers. They really have no power. All they have is psychological power or understanding of human behavior. What they use against you is what they hear from you, or what they've either read somewhere, studied about you, studied about where you come from, what is particular to the places you've been or grown up, then what you say along the line is what they use. And you get amazed. Oh, who told him about this? Who told her about that? And once they can catch you in that bubble, they can control you because you submit yourself to them. Right. This is used in occult. This is used also in churches. In some churches, they use it to hold you because you think that man is hearing from God. He's sleeping in the same room with God. So God is telling him or her about you. So you submit everything to that person, right? And some of these are not spiritual power. Some of these are just mere psychological understanding, right? I said some, not all, right? As much as there's a real one, there's also the fake one. Yes, there's word of knowledge. Don't get me wrong. There's word of knowledge, there's word of wisdom. And, those are spiritual gifts, right, of the Holy Spirit, and they are, but not all the cases are genuine. Some of them are just psychological understanding, right? And that's what so some of those gimmicks you see in the occult, some of them might be familiar spirits, but a whole lot of them are not. Just psychological understanding of the human behavior they're using against you, right? Once they can get you on the roller coaster, you will be the one revealing the things that they're going to use against you. And they talk to you, and you think that they have superior knowledge. No, they don't. You just played into their hands. You played into the game. And that's what we're reading through this book with the intent that we can understand some of these gimmicks, so that we don't become captives, of the game. Right? We don't become captives of the game. And we can use some of these also in an ethical format to better our lives and do better in life. That's the intent of doing this. Right. Again, I'm not saying that there's no word of knowledge, no word of wisdom in the church, or there's no word of prophecy. There is, there is a genuine one. But just as there is a genuine one, there's also the fake. And we have a lot of the fake around. All of those Sarah too. Oh, anybody call Sarah too in here? That's not of the Holy Ghost. They probably just understand there's a Sarah too, or they've heard about someone or something. There might be a few cases that are true. Don't get me wrong, but a whole lot of what we I see going on around here just for one eye con men on altars, con men on pulpits. Right, bad. You're free to have your take on that, right? But that's what we're doing in the book here, and the book here is studied this in different circles, you know. So this is not just my word. This well studied read well-studied books on this subject, you know, and I started, I didn't introduce our books. This is the main book we're reading, The Confidence Game, right, by Maria Konnikova. That's the main book we're reading. But just to help us, you know, get a grounder understanding of a topic, you know, we're reading three other books just to help us along the line. And this one, The Heart of a Con by R. Paul Wilson, how to think like a real hustler and avoid being scammed. You know, he at one time did a bit of con. He went to jail, but he spent most of his life, you know, teaching how the con game works. You know, how people are scanned, and just to help people. You know, just like we're doing here, just to help people so that they don't get scanned. You know, so everything I've said before is published. You know, it's well written. You know, so I'm not after any church. I'm not against any church. It's well published. You know, there's a big con also written by David Maurer, and he's a professor in linguistics, and he's pretty much spoken to different con artists and put it together in a book, you know, to share with us. You know, and the third book we're reading in support, but fourth book altogether is The Mark Inside, written by Amy Redding, right? It's written in a kind of novel version, because it's also written as an autobiography of someone that was conned and went about after the people that conned him, you know. So all four books we're reading just to gain breadth, depth on the topic, so that we can have a better discussion on it, and get more value out of it, you know. And we're here in chapter three again, and the title of chapter three is The Play, which is the game itself, how the game works, you know. And the quote, you know, that pretty much starts, that is a quote by a con artist called Victor Rustic, right? Victor Rustic. And let me bring that quote here again as we share this. Um, what did I do? Forgive me, I'm looking for it. All right, I'm back there. All right, yeah. So it's by Victor Rustic, who is a con artist himself. Is from a book it calls The First Commandment of a Con Man. I guess I need to get that book also. The First Commandment of the Con Man, and he says that be patient. Be patient. You know, in a sense, we said the patient dog eats the fattest bone. In another sense, we say the patient dog does not hit the fattest bone, because he hits the leftover. It all depends on what you're talking about when we use that word patient. You know, uh, every predictor is patient. Every predictor is patient. No predictor rushes into the hunt. Study any predictor. No predictor rushes into the hunt. So the instinct of a predictor is to be patient. That's the way God created every predictor. Even the devil is patient. The devil doesn't rush to tempt anybody. The devil does not rush to tempt anybody. It's we ignorant people that think that, oh, I must go, oh, I must save souls. Ah, hey, souls are dying. Just rush into a place. And you come back a failure, and you think it's God that failed you. No, God didn't fail you. You failed. You didn't have enough sense in what you are trying to do, right? No predator rushes into a hunt. Every predator is patient. Every predator is strategic. Even though the predator is going against somebody that is smaller than the predator does not rush into a hunt. The devil did not rush into a hunt when he went to tempt Eve. Guess what? The devil waited until when Eve was alone. The devil could have come to tempt Eve when Adam was there. Adam was not there when the devil came to tempt Eve, right? Adam was not there, right? Because the Bible tells us that Adam was not tempted. If Adam was there, he would have also been tempted. He was not tempted. He only took the fruit because the woman had already taken it, and the woman gave it to him to eat. Adam was not tempted. The devil waited till Adam was not with Eve before going for the catch, going for the hunt. That's what a predator does. It's going to stay and wait, wait, looking for the perfect moment, wait, looking for the perfect opportunity, wait, looking when the prey is distracted, when the prey has a sense a sense of safety, of safety feels, or when the guards are down. The devil looks for the opportunity when the prey's guards are down. The devil will not come against you when your guards are up. The devil will only come when your guards are down. When your guards are down, that's when the devil would come. So the Apostle Peter tells us that, be sober. Don't let your guards be down. Be sober. Don't let your guards be down. Be watchful. Be on the watchtower. Be vigilant. Because you have someone that's looking for an opportunity to jump on you. There's someone that's patiently looking for the right opportunity to jump on you. Right? That's what the devil does. He's looking for the right opportunity to jump on you. He doesn't jump. He's looking for the people that are not sober. He's looking for the people that are not vigilant. He's looking for the people that are at ease in Zion. He's looking for the people that have forgotten about the second coming. He's looking for the people that think that there's no hell. They've been deceived. They're enjoying life. They're eating burger. So for them, there's no hell. Oh, there's no hell. We can do anything. Don't worry. God is a good God. There's no hell. Looking for the people that have lost their faith. He's looking for the people that have compromised their faith. He's looking for the people that have believed an evil report. He's looking for the people that their eyes are no more on Jesus. They are no more waiting on Jesus. Looking for the people that have lost their way. The devil is patient. Every predictor is patient. Every predictor is looking for the right opportunity. That's what the con artist does, because the con artist is a mentee of the devil. Every con man, every swindler, every 419 person is a mentee of the devil. Everything they do is what the devil has already done and what the devil is already doing. They are the devils, demons around in angel clothing. Some of them are on our pulpits. Some of them are GOs. Some of them are whatever they call themselves, senior apostle or whatever, general apostle or most whatever. The name doesn't matter. If they play this game, if they use these tools, they're mentees of the devil. You think you're in a church, you're probably in a devil's a demon temple. Right. But the predictor is patient. It's good to be patient. Like we said, these techniques can be used for good, they can be used for evil, right? We talk about the con game, we talk about the con man, we're talking about it being used for evil. But the same technique that's used for evil can be used for good. In our everyday business, there's a place to be patient. There's a place to be patient. Again, I'll repeat. We we say the patient dog eats the fattest bone. In another sense, we say the dog does not eat the fattest bone. He eats what is left over. So we're talking about patient here. We're not talking about patient doing nothing. It's a patient doing nothing that will not eat the fattest bone. You will eat the leftover. If there's anything left over. When you are patient here, you are not idle. You are being strategic. You are looking for the right opportunity. You are looking for the right moment. You are looking for when to enter. You are looking for when the stars align, when the ducks are in a row. You are not idle. You are studying. You are preparing. You are loading your gun. You are loading your gun. So the patient we're talking about, the patient that will hit the fattest bone, is the one that is not idle while waiting. He's busy. The patient that is idle while waiting. Oh God, my God, when you are ready, come and call me. Hey, just cross leg watching TV. Oh, movie magic. Hey, I'm waiting on God. I'm waiting on God doing nothing. You won't get anything. Patient here, again defined. It's not patient not doing anything. It's patient busy, waiting, preparing, right? Like Les Brown would say, he says it's better to be prepared and not have an opportunity than to have an opportunity and not being prepared. So the time of waiting is a time of preparation. It's a time of building capacity. It's a time of building capacity. It's a time of building skills, sharpening skills, a time of practice. It's a time of sharpening your sword. It's a time of sharpening your stone. It's a time of cleaning your weapon. It's a time of practicing how to use it, right? Because that time will come. And when it comes, you're going to ask of what you were doing while you were waiting. I know I'm making it broad, but I'll take the liberty to make this broad because that probably is what the main thing we're supposed to talk about today, right? We saw David. David did not rush to the palace. David was anointed. He did not say, "Hey, because they've anointed me king, let me go and start sitting around Saul because I'm going to be the next king." Oh, Saul, Saul, when are you going to get off the throne for me? His time will come. But he also didn't go idle. He was busy in the backside of a desert. He was taking care of the sheep and he was training himself as a warrior. He did not see the tiger and cross his leg. They've anointed me as king. Why should I be fighting tiger? They've anointed me as king. I'm the right person to become king now. Cross his leg and do nothing. He will never get to the throne. He didn't have the opportunity to fight Goliath. He didn't have the opportunity to be in the army like his brothers. But he had this opportunity of a tiger trying to take away my sheep. He did not say, "Oh, look at me, poor me." They didn't put me in the army, so I won't do anything. No, he took, he made use of what he had in his hands, protecting the sheep of his father. That was what he could do. That was where he was. He did what he could do where he was with what he had. And that prepared him. He didn't know, but that was a step towards the throne. Not only did the tiger come, right? The lion came. He did not say, "Oh, I've done a tiger. Oh, wow, look at this lion. I'm coming. Oh, I mean, I'm okay. I'm okay." Oh. No, because he saw that God helped him with a tiger. The same God that helped him with a tiger can help him with a lion. He did what he could where he was. He became a tiger killer, became a lion killer. He tested God. God was with him against a tiger. God was with him against a lion while he was in waiting as one anointed to be king. So it was easy for him to believe God to fight the Goliath when the Goliath came. And when Goliath came, he could also have said, oh, well, me, I'm the next king. I've been anointed to be king. Why should I be fighting a small Goliath? Or, these small people will do that. No. The same God that helped him fight a tiger within his limitation, but he used what he had. He now became a tiger killer. A lion came. He raised his game. He became a lion killer. He saw God in the backside of a desert. That same God, the God of the backside of a desert, is the same God on the battlefront. David would not have been able to kill Goliath if he had not killed the tiger and the lion. He was patient waiting for his time on the throne. But while he was waiting, he was making the best of what he could at each point in time. What he did with the tiger, what he did with the lion was what enabled him to do with the Goliath. And thereafter, with many more soldiers after that. David did not start by fighting soldiers. He did not start by fighting Goliath. He did not start by fighting the lion. He started by fighting a tiger, and he graduated and grew. He was doing what he could with what he had, where he was, while waiting for the anointing that was on his head. We see the same thing with Joseph. Joseph had a dream to become a king. The king was thrown into a pit. He could have given up. Oh, God said, this God said, He could have said, oh, I'm going to be a king one day, Joe. Let me just do anyhow. Somehow God will bring this dream to pass now. I don't have to do anything. Wait, I'll just be waiting, doing nothing, waiting for my time to on the throne. He would not have gotten there. The time in the pit, in that dark pit, was part of the process to the throne. Yes, he was waiting for his dream to come true, but he had to be faithful in the season where he was on his way to the throne. He was patiently waiting for his dream to come to pass, but he had to still be present where he was. He still had to believe God for where he was. He had to believe God in the dark pit. And when it was like things were getting worse, he was sold to Egypt. He still had to believe God. Joseph was a man just like you and me, just like me and you. He felt every fear, going to a place he did not know, being sold, his father not knowing about it. In a sense, he felt it was the end of his life. He only had to encourage himself every now and then along the journey. But he had every feeling. He was a man of like passion like you and me. His feelings probably wanted to make him to give up at different times. But like David, he had to speak to himself. He had to encourage himself in the Lord is God. He had to believe the dream that God gave to him. But while waiting, he was busy where he was. There was never a time it was said of Joseph, oh, he was lazy. He was crossing his leg because he's believing God. He didn't do anything. Oh, God doesn't hurt those that hurt themselves, like some stupid people talk about. If you don't help yourself, God won't help you. Joseph was faithful where he was every step of the journey. So much faithful that they made him head everywhere he was, because he was present where he was. He wasn't absent, thinking about, oh, Eligwe, when I get to the throne. He wasn't thinking Eligwe. He was busy now and now. He wasn't always thinking about heaven like some people sleep in church. Oh, we're going to heaven, but she didn't do anything. Oh, God will rain manna from heaven. Oh, another brother, because I'm praying for another brother, it's going to be the one to help me because I'm praying, because me, I don't have hands to go and walk. Joseph wasn't absent every step of the way. In Potiphar's house, they made him the head of the servants because he was a good servant. It wasn't just because he was handsome. It wasn't just because they saw something in him. He was doing something. What they saw in him was he was doing something. He was busy. He was busy. Yes, God was with him. not idle. God was with him busy. He was busy. That's what they saw. Busy and doing well. And somehow there was wisdom with his, but it wasn't wisdom without doing something. He was busy. While he was patient for his dream to come true, he was busy. He was present in the now and now. He wasn't absent. He wasn't a daydreamer. He was busy in the now and now. So they made him the head of the servants because he was busy, was a good servant. So they made him the head of the servant. Even when he was now being thrown into the prison, as it were, it was a downgrade. He didn't get to the prison and was bitter. Oh, I'm bitter. Oh, God has forsaken me. I've tried to be this. Even in this place, I've tried. Oh, they pushed me in prison. He wasn't absent in the prison. They made him the head of the prisoners. Why? He was a good prisoner. He wasn't absent from the prison. His mind was not in being a servant. I've lost our servant. Oh, I should have been servant. Oh, I should have been head of servant. Hey. No, he was present in the prison. He was a good prisoner. So they made him the head of the prisoners. That is how he got to the throne. That is how he knew about the dream of the butler and the cup tester. That's if he was absent in the prison, he would not have heard about their dream. He would not have observed them. It was because he was present. He was able to observe. That was where his miracle came from. Because he was present in the moment. He was active where he was. He was doing something where he was. He was occupying where he was. He wasn't waiting till everything was rosy. Where he was occupying. Therefore, God used what he was doing to take him to where he needed to be, where his final hand was. God would not have taken him to the throne if he was absent-minded. So we need to be patient, right? But patient doing something, not patient idle. If you are patient occupying where you are, you eat the fattest bone. If you are supposedly patient, being absent where you are, you will get nothing. Every other person will take the fattest bone. They will not even leave any scrap for you. You have nothing. It's good to be patient, but you have to be actively patient. You have to be present in your patience. A predictor is not absently patient. A predictor is actively present patient because it's strategizing. He's already dreaming how to take hold of the prey, where to go, how to run. Should I run straight? Should I run that way? That way? Yeah, will he go that way? Do I have enough strength to follow? What part should I bite? All of that. He's strategizing. That is why he gets the fattest bone. That is God's instinct in a predator. You cannot beat that. You cannot beat that. And that's what the 419 person does also in getting hit the victim. He's watchful, he's strategic, he's studying the victim. And what he learns about the victim is what he uses against the victim. Again, I'm at the hour mark and I'm going to shut this down soon. But thanks for coming along. Remileko made it here today. Thank you for stopping by. I guess this is our little mentor moment. You've been chasing my wife for that. So I hope you learned something. I hope you got something. I'm going to do all of this and post it everywhere. This gets on my blog site, unclearkin.com. It's on my YouTube channels. It's on YouTube also. It's on Facebook also. So feel free to run through whatever you missed and feel free to ask any question at all, and we can learn together and do life together. Thanks for coming along, Dari. Thanks for coming along, Sam. I appreciate you all. God bless you. Thanks everyone on my blogging site. Thanks on everyone on YouTube. Thanks for everyone that could watch this later. God bless you. I'm gonna catch you back at the same time next Sunday, God willing. All right. Bye bye. Enjoy.